you know, we talk a lot about, you know, for 8 straight games, we take the drive down the last possession of the half and take it down the field and score. I mean, that's an important possession as the one after the half. So, I mean, I don't know if that's the case or not. It's certainly something I considered, but certainly it's not an excuse for us not being able to handle the complexities of the game and how it unfolds. We have to be better delivering a knockout punch, and we've yet to do that in those 3 games.
Any more thoughts to watching the Aggie band?
Matter of fact, that did cross my mind. You know, we go into halftime. You know, it's you know, college halftime is so much longer, and we go into halftime, and I think it's so important to keep them engaged. I talk to them immediately, go visit with the coaches. We talk about the second half, and then I come back and talk to them again. Try to engage them after the first quarter. We talk as a team, and then going into the fourth quarter, I guess I have to change what I'm talking about. Save my pregame speech for halftime and my halftime speech for pregame. But you know, I've thought of a lot of different things. You know, what are we doing at halftime? You know, do we think because we scored a touchdown at the end of the half and have the lead, are we complacent? I would like to think that we're not. We don't talk in those terms. The locker room is fairly engaged at the halftime, fairly emotional. I don't sense that necessarily, but it certainly wouldn't hurt to go watch the Aggie band.
A couple of your defensive players have talked about needing to be more consistent. Is that a fair assessment, and if so, is it frustrating to not have that consistency?
You know, consistency defines greatness in my mind. I mean, you can't, you have to be consistently great or consistently good to be that, and so we certainly are lacking that consistency. We show spurts of it, of really good football, and then we have lapses. And it's just their ability to continue to play the game a certain way, regardless of the circumstances, and we haven't done that necessarily.
Coach, can you update us on?
And that's on both sides of the ball and special teams. This week, our kickoff return, we put a lot of emphasis on the kickoff return. Did better there, you know, but then the kickoff coverage was pretty good. We let a guy sneak out on kickoff coverage on us, you know, so once you think something's fixed, something else seems to go astray.
Slow down this Oklahoma offense.
Well, not many people have had success at doing that. I was sponsoring coming back off of this loss, which was a very, you know, that locker room was about as dejected as they knew how important that game was. I'd circle that on my calendar last year as a game we had to win this year, and I think I got that point across, but obviously not well enough. But this is a great, not only a great offense. I think they're not a whole lot of weaknesses on their defensive side or special teams. So collectively, they're a very good football team. They obviously started the season ranked #1. Had a hiccup with Texas Tech and bounced back like good teams do. Bounced back the next week against a very good Kansas State team. So we'll have our hands full, but it's a challenge that we're looking forward to.
You guys have played some really good individual defensive players this year. Is this the toughest matchup you've seen in terms of what they present off the edge with Alexander and Lewis?
No question. These two guys. I mean, you can go through in college football. You know, people say, well, why in college football does the spread offense and the run and shoot and all that stuff work so well in college, but not in the NFL? It usually has a lot to do with the amount of great pass rushes you face in college. Where in the NFL you face great pass rushes usually on a weekly basis, so they can kind of contain some of that stuff. And you know, there's definitely the edge pressure that these guys can generate, plus the push they get up the middle, will be one of our bigger challenges. You know, Missouri going into the game, I have them ranked pretty high as a defensive team. They were very good last year, and I think they do an excellent job this year as well.
Coach, how frustrating is it to have 3 losses come almost in identical patterns? Having a big lead at halftime, offense kind of stops scoring, you get to see a rapid rally, have a chance at the end, and come up short.
Well, you should ask my wife that question. She probably could answer how frustrating it's been for me. Really, you got to flush it out of your system and move on, but it's been very frustrating to be so close and be in a different position than we're currently in. So, yeah, very, very, very frustrating.
Do you just get grouchy or you can't sleep? What did she tell us?
Well, I said the bad news is that we lost the game, but the good news is I'm losing weight. And, because I'm not sleeping very well or not eating any extra portions. Not much of an appetite right now.
Have you been pleased with your senior leadership when times are down? Is anybody stepping up locally?
I'm always challenging those guys. I think some guys do, some guys don't. It's hard when you're injured to be that guy. I think we can always improve there. Continue to push those guys to be better in times like this, particularly. It's easier to be a leader when you're winning games. It's a little more difficult and more necessary when you don't.
Do you change anything about your approach to the team or to the game at this point in the season, or kind of go?
Well, I don't know. I'm fairly honest in my assessment with where we are and what we're doing, and I'll be very honest with them when I talk to them this afternoon about this past ball game and then what we need to do to get better.
Have you sensed a real maturation from DeMontre maybe over the past month or 2 months, maybe on and off the field?
I have, actually. I called the team up a week ago or so, and I drew a circle, and DeMontre was standing there, and I put a little dot outside the circle. I said, does anybody know what this is? I said, this is the circle of trust, and DeMontre, you're outside the circle of trust. But you're getting closer. He's banging on the wall trying to get into that circle, and he's made remarkable changes. He and I meet once a week and talk about on the field, off the field, and he's really growing up. That's the one thing about college football. One of the most satisfying things is to see a young man, and hopefully it continues, to see a young man, he has all this emotional energy, and it's kind of sometimes it's been funneled in the wrong direction. We're trying to funnel it into a positive direction, and I think he's done a good job of that. And there's been some times, I remember a week ago, he said, did you see the play that I didn't punch the guy back after he punched me? And I said, that's good, DeMontre. I'm proud of where you are, I said, I could have, I said, no, you could have, but you didn't. That's good we didn't get a penalty there. So, I mean, he's growing up, and I think he's playing pretty good football. He's giving good effort. I'm proud of where he's at, and I keep my fingers crossed so we keep that line. But he and I've had a lot of consultations, and I think we're getting closer to where he needs to be.
Has he edged his way into the side of the circle now?
Well, no, because I think once he's in there, he's going to put his feet up and just sit down and relax. So we're going to keep him outside for a little bit longer. But he's getting pretty close. He's banging on the door, and I'm proud of him. He's taken some things, and I'm pretty hard on him. But he's inching closer and closer.
Talk about some of your senior leaders and Trent Hunter.